Why did Lee Junho's drama drop so hard against Taxi Driver 3? Imagine a world where the underdogs of justice finally eclipse the glittering illusions of family drama, leaving one beloved idol star's latest venture in the shadows. Welcome to the electrifying clash that's reshaping Friday night viewing in Korea. As the clock strikes prime time on November 29, 2025, screens across the nation flicker with tension, not just from scripted showdowns, but from the raw battle for eyeballs between two powerhouse series. The relentless vigilante thriller Taxi Driver 3, helmed by the ever-charismatic Lee Je Hoon, and the heartfelt yet faltering Typhoon Family, where Lee Junho pours his soul into a tale of unexpected bonds. It's a matchup that feels almost poetic, pitting the swift, vengeful wheels of Rainbow Taxi against the stormy gales of a makeshift household. And as ratings roll in from Nielsen Korea, it's clear the tide has turned dramatically. What was once a cozy family saga now whispers of repetition's cruel bite, while the taxi's engine roars louder than ever, pulling viewers into a vortex of moral reckonings and pulse-pounding chases. This isn't just about numbers on a chart. It's a testament to how stories that dare to confront the darkness in our world can outshine even the warmest hearthside glow, leaving us all wondering if the heroes we root for in fiction are the ones we need most in real life. I can't help but feel a thrill in this shift. It's like watching a storm clear to reveal a sharper, more unforgiving horizon, one that reminds us why we tune in week after week. For the catharsis of seeing wrong righted, no matter the cost. Taxi Driver 3, or as fans affectionately dub it in Vietnamese circles, Ân Giang 3, burst onto screens just over a week ago on November 21st, and from its very first rev of the engine, it signaled this was no ordinary sequel. Drawing from the acclaimed webtoon The Deluxe Taxi by Carlos and Lee Je Hoon, the series has always thrived on its foundation of real-life injustices, those gut-wrenching crimes that slip through the cracks of bureaucracy, from elder scams to corporate greed. But Season 3 amps up the stakes, introducing a fresh cadre of villains who embody the cold calculus of modern exploitation. Episode 4, aired on that fateful November 29th evening, catapults the narrative into overdrive, clocking in at a staggering 11.6% nationwide rating, the highest yet for the season, and a crown it wears as the week's most-watched miniseries across all channels. It's not hard to see why. The plot weaves a web of intricate deception around Cha Byung-jin, portrayed with chilling precision by Yoon Si-yoon, a shadowy kingpin in the used car racket who preys on the desperate with rigged deals and forged histories. His empire isn't just about fleecing wallets. It's a metaphor for how the powerful repackage broken dreams as shiny opportunities, leaving ordinary folks stranded on the roadside of despair. Kim Do-gi, the stoic ex-Special Forces operative brought to life by Lee Je Hoon, leads the Rainbow Taxi crew in a meticulously crafted sting operation, blending undercover guile with high-octane pursuits that leave you breathless. There's something profoundly satisfying in watching Do-gi's team peel back the layers of Byung-jin's facade, not with brute force alone, but through clever alliances and unyielding empathy for the victims. Widows swindled out of their life savings, families uprooted by false promises. As the episode unfolds, the camera lingers on those quiet moments of reckoning, where a single glance from Do-gi conveys volumes of restrained fury, making you root for this makeshift family of Avengers all the more fiercely. Personally, this installment sent shivers down my spine. Yoon Si-yoon's portrayal of Byung-jin isn't cartoonish villainy, but a masterclass in subtle menace. His sly smiles and calculating eyes evoke that uneasy recognition of real-world charlatans we've all encountered, turning entertainment into a mirror that reflects society's underbelly. It's the kind of performance that lingers long after the credits, prompting late-night reflections on justice's elusive nature. And honestly, it makes me admire Lee Je Hoon's versatility even more. He shifts from feigned naivety to steely resolve with such fluidity, like water adapting to carved stone. This surge in ratings isn't accidental. It's the payoff of a series that honors its roots while evolving, reminding us that in a year where economic anxieties linger like exhaust fumes, stories of reclamation hit harder than ever. The Rainbow Taxi doesn't just drive plots forward, it steers conversations, sparking online forums buzzing with debates on consumer rights and vigilante ethics, proving once again that Taxi Driver isn't merely escapist fare, but a cultural pulse check. Yet, as Taxi Driver 3 accelerates into the double digits, its rival across the dial, Typhoon Family, finds itself buffeted by unexpected headwinds. It's episode 15 on the same November 29th slot, dipping to a modest 6.6%, a sharp 2.9-point plunge from the previous week's 9.5%. Airing on TVN, this ensemble dramedy, centered on a ragtag group of strangers thrown together by fate's capricious storms, had charmed audiences with its blend of humor, heartache, and the quiet beauty of chosen kinship. Lee Junho, fresh off his global idol glow from 2 p.m., steps into the role of Yoon Tae-jun, a jaded architect whose meticulously planned life unravels when a literal typhoon forces him into cohabitation with an eclectic bunch. A fiery single mom played by the luminous Park Shin-hye, a quirky inventor embodied by the ever-reliable Gong Myung, and a wisecracking elder voiced by the legendary Kim Hae-ja. The premise echoes timeless tropes of family as found rather than given, exploring how adversity forges unbreakable ties, much like the resilient Hanok structures Tae-jun restores in his day job. Early episodes soared on the wings of witty banter and tender revelations, capturing that universal ache for belonging in a fast-paced world where bloodlines often fall short. But as the series hurtles toward its finale, whispers of fatigue creep in. Plotlines that circle back to misunderstandings and reconciliations feel like echoes in an emptying room, diluting the fresh winds that initially swept viewers away. Episode 15, in particular, leans heavily on a protracted subplot involving a long-lost heirloom that symbolizes the group's unity. Yet it meanders through familiar emotional beats without the sharp twists that once kept hearts racing. It's a poignant reminder of how even the sturdiest narratives can weather erosion if they don't adapt to shifting gales. Watching this drop, I felt a pang of disappointment, mingled with empathy. Lee Junho's earnest portrayal of Tae-jun's growth, from isolated skeptic to pillar of support, remains a highlight, his subtle micro-expressions conveying vulnerability in ways that words never could, evoking that bittersweet nostalgia for simpler times. There's an authenticity to the ensemble's chemistry that still warms like post-storm sunlight, making the decline all the more frustrating. It's as if the show, much like its characters, got caught in a loop of comfort rather than evolution. In a landscape dominated by high-concept thrillers, Typhoon Family dared to prioritize relational depth over spectacle, a gamble that paid dividends initially, but now underscores the challenge of sustaining momentum in serialized storytelling. Fans online lament the missed opportunities for bolder risks, like delving deeper into cultural motifs of resilience drawn from Korea's own history of natural calamities. Yet there's hope the finale might rally with a crescendo of cathartic unity. For now, though, this slump serves as a humbling nod to the genre's volatility, where even a star like Junho can't outrun the audience's craving for novelty. Amid this dramatic duel, other contenders hold their ground with quiet tenacity, each carving out niches in the vast tapestry of Korean television. Take Moon River, the enchanting body swap saga on MBC that entered its second half with episode 8's steady 5.4% on November 29. A figure that speaks volumes about its enduring appeal without the flash of frontrunners. Inspired by classic folklore of souls exchanging vessels, the series follows Crown Prince Lee Kang Tae-oh, a duty-bound royal weary of palace intrigues, who awakens in the body of a spirited commoner, Han So-yeon, Kim Se-jong, a herbalist with dreams bigger than her station. Their swapped lives unravel a cascade of comedic mishaps and profound insights. Kang navigating the freedoms of market life, from haggling over ginseng to dodging nosy matchmakers, while So-yeon grapples with courtly etiquette and the weight of imperial decisions. It's a clever inversion of Joseon-era hierarchies, laced with romance that blooms tentatively amid the chaos, as the duo communicates through intermediaries and stolen glances, learning empathy across class divides. The stable rating reflects a loyal viewership drawn to its whimsical tone, reminiscent of Alchemy of Souls, but grounded in historical authenticity. Costumes evoking the vibrant dyes of Goryeo textiles, sets recreating the Han River's misty banks with meticulous detail. What strikes me most is the show's gentle subversion of fate. In a genre often explosive with magic, Moon River whispers of quiet revolutions, where true power lies in understanding another's burdens. Kim Se-jong's portrayal of Kang's princely poise in a fisherman's garb is delightfully awkward yet poignant, eliciting chuckles one moment and tears the next, while Kang Tae-oh infuses So-yeon with a fiery optimism that feels like a balm for modern stresses. This consistency isn't flashy, but it's comforting, like a reliable friend who doesn't need to shout to be heard, proving that in an era of bingeable blockbusters, slower burn romances still have a river's worth of depth to offer. Not far behind, JTBC's The Dream Life of Mr. Kim inches forward with episode 11's 5.6%. A slice-of-life gem that transforms the mundane into magic through the lens of aspiration and reinvention. At its core is Kim Young-hoon, Yoo Yeon-suk, a middling salaryman in his 40s whose nocturnal visions transport him to alternate realities where his wildest potentials unfold. Be it as a Michelin-starred chef whipping up fusion banchan that marries Korean roots with global flair, or a street performer whose guitar strums heal fractured relationships. These dreams aren't mere escapism. They're portals to self-examination, forcing Young-hoon to confront the regrets piling up like unread emails, the promotion he never chased, the family dinners skipped for overtime. Daytimes blend gritty realism, commutes on Seoul's labyrinthine subways, office politics as cutthroat as a corporate kendo match, with bursts of surrealism, where dream logic bleeds into waking hours, like a colleague suddenly reciting poetry from Young-hoon's subconscious. The series draws from psychological studies on lucid dreaming, weaving in subtle nods to Korean shamanistic traditions where visions guide destiny, all while maintaining a tone that's more inspirational than fantastical. That 5.6% holds steady because it mirrors viewers' own quiet yearnings. In a society still recovering from economic ripples, who hasn't fantasized about hitting rewind on life's script? Yoo Yeon-suk shines here, his everyman charm elevating Young-hoon from relatable everyman to quiet hero. His eyes light up with childlike wonder in dream sequences, only to cloud with resolve upon waking, a duality that tugs at the heartstrings. I find myself lingering on the episode's closing scene, where Young-hoon sketches a blueprint for change over Ramyeon with his estranged daughter, the steam rising like unspoken hopes. It's a moment of profound simplicity that leaves you optimistic, reflecting on your own what-ifs with a soft smile rather than despair. The dream life of Mr. Kim doesn't demand attention, it earns it, one introspective reverie at a time, a gentle counterpoint to the high octane elsewhere. And then there's The Tale of Lady Oak. No, wait, hold that thought. The real heavyweight lurking in the weekend wings is KBS's Golden Days, which stormed to 15.1% with its latest outing, a historical epic that reimagines the twilight of the Goryeo dynasty through the eyes of forgotten artisans. Episode 11, aired concurrently, follows the titular Lady Ok, Lee Je Hoon, a lowly scribe's daughter who ascends to legal savant amid political tempests, her intellect a double-edged sword in a man's world. Based loosely on real Joseon precedents of female scholars, the narrative pulses with intrigue, forged edicts that topple ministers, clandestine alliances in moonlit pavilions scented with plum blossoms, and Ok's unyielding quest to codify justice for the voiceless. The 15.1% isn't hyperbole. It's the fruit of lavish production, from hand-woven hanbok shimmering under lantern light to sword fights choreographed with balletic ferocity, evoking the era's turbulent shift to Joseon. Lee Je Hoon's Ok is a revelation, fierce yet fragile, her voice cutting through patriarchal din like a well-honed quill, while Chu Young-woo's noble ally adds layers of conflicted loyalty that simmer with unspoken passion. This rating dominance feels earned, a beacon for historical buffs craving authenticity over anachronistic flair. Think debates on land reforms mirroring today's property woes, or Ok's advocacy echoing modern gender equity fights. It stirs in me a deep admiration for the unsung. Watching Ok dismantle a corrupt magistrate's web with rhetorical precision is empowering, a reminder that history's heroines often scripted their triumphs in the margins. As these threads intertwine, the broader landscape of Korean dramas on this crisp November night reveals a symphony of voices: vigilantes revving justice, families weathering doubts, dreamers chasing horizons, and sages rewriting fates, each note resonating with the timeless human drive to connect, confront, and conquer. In this cacophony, Taxi Driver 3 emerges not just as victor, but as vanguard, urging us to question, when the credits fade, whose story will we carry into the dawn?